Nick,
Okay, it's a science question then.
Yeah, for Logan, really. Logan, do you think that the light on affects the behaviour of the fauna that you're looking at?
Yeah, it definitely does. We trialled the different colours. The light has red, blue, and white. We realised we know that red didn't penetrate far enough, so it was between blue and white pretty much. And we're almost set on blue. We tested blue, and it created pretty much just as much bait sort of attraction. So we said we'll go with the white because at least we can still see what's happening and at least it's constant across the whole every single drop. So it definitely does, but we can't really avoid it. We that's what we tried doing when Damo dropped them down for his Bulbo stuff. We're like, what colour do we use? How do we use it? And you sort of, there's no avoiding it. You use a light or you don't type of thing.
Yeah, great talk, Logan. So you sort of mentioned that by adding the bruvs, you get the predatory species. Yeah. But do you think the ROV adds anything that the bruvs are not getting?
Yeah, it's well, with being a transect base, so we can actually go to transect, so we can go across the habitat, so we can get the spatial difference there. And we're finding more of those smaller species that are associated with those little like cracks and stuff. We find obviously with the bruv, you get so much happening, there's so much going on. So with the ROV, it does find those more cryptic sort of hidden species. So that's one benefit I find of the ROV.
Logan, that's a very cool PG and a lot of work. So the reef balls, did you say there's 2,700?
Oh, that's all up. So there was 72 in each.
And so you've fractioned them all. How are you going to get all that work done?
What's that, sorry?
How are you going to get all the work? It's a massive amount of work.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. Have you got volunteers? How many students?
We are trying to even the work out and get some students to maybe help. But that's hopefully what Cindy's part with helping me with the eDNA will hopefully prove we should find the same stuff hopefully, and then not have to do that in the future. But it's pretty scary.
Thanks, Logan. Picking on you, mate. I don't know the bruvs literature very well, but it seemed like you're getting a lot of temporal variability in your sampling. That was really changing a lot. Is that right?
Yeah.
Does that bruvs are used to monitor the condition of as assemblages of fish at Ningaloo, but it's they're one-off samples. They're not over the whole day. Do you think that temporal variability that you saw affects the legitimacy of using bruvs to sample populations?
I'm not 100% sure. I do think the bait would help that. So the bait, no matter what time of day it is, it's going to bring things in. But yeah, looking at those long runs, there's definitely a lot of stuff happening at different times of the day. So using it at different times of the day may influence the results. But I'm not 100% sure either, sorry. I'm more of an ROV guy at this stage.
I'll ask you, Jordan.
Yeah, it's probably a Jordan question.
I was going to ask another question actually, but
But you can answer that one, Jordan.
can you repeat it again? Sorry, Pete.
We can talk about it later. But the question was, does that temporal variability that Logan's found that really changes through the day, does that affect the legitimacy of sampling fish assemblages? You just one off, for an hour, sort of, right?
Yeah, that's the reason there's a paper from some work down in Albany, Lizzie Myers did, that looked at the same thing with baited video and found we get these crepuscular changes, and that's why we try to limit bruvs at least between the hours of like 9 to 4, just so we're avoiding those changeovers. But yeah, you can sort of get stuck pretty quickly if you want to try to sample at the same time of day every day, then you just don't get any work done. So we know things change and we try to standardise it as much as possible. Didn't realise I was going to be answering a question.
Thanks, John.
I've got one for Nick, because I was one of those mugs that's stayed up all night for years and years.
It's not a mug, no. You're not a mug.
Have you ever had any like complete meltdowns or fails where the codes sort of malfunction and you've ended up with a heap of videos that sort of you really struggled to label, or do you have a old school backup?
So the way the code is structured, first off, I make a copy of the card without doing anything. Okay, so that's the first thing. I've had cards go bad, and then you have to do a whole heap of things. I started off using the unique UUID of the card, but if you format them in the GoPro, they all get the same unique ID, which is blew my code apart. So there's a whole heap of edge cases which do come across. So no, I'm still improving. I haven't lost significant amounts of data using this. I can guarantee if I wasn't automating it, I would lose more data. The GoPro is nice because it does have the serial number in the EXIF data, where the Sony, like white Sony cams, don't. So it is very specific to the camera you're using. Hard luck if your camera doesn't have any of that. But Logan introduced me to the whiteboard and the signaling. And what's really nice about that is when you very quickly find when cameras are swapped over, which Aaron found 2 cameras that have been swapped over. Because I've got the serial number, I know where it should be. And then when somebody's done the wiggle finger saying it's the left camera and it's not, you go, okay, there's a problem here. So doing all these kind of things and automating as much as possible and concentrating on quality whilst you're in the field, I think is a really valuable lesson for me. Yes. He's stepped out. Yeah. Any more questions for everyone?
It's cool stuff with those long deployments that you're doing. Was just the quality of the video the main overheating issue, or did you find anything else that was a good sort of trick to help reduce that?
So ironically, it's one of those moments where you go like, I ran the thing on my desk and I thought, oh, it's shut down because it's overheated. I'll just put my finger inside the battery compartment. Bang, I burnt the end of my finger. It was that hot. So there are some things which I haven't experimented with yet. Inside the GoPro uses and this will be really cool. It's where I'm going next with this. The accelerometer and camera temperature are recorded continuously inside the video format in the GoPro extended metadata. So you should be able to, in theory, look at that in your various surroundings. Taking the internal battery out and powering it externally gives it a bit more space. But that GoPro metadata, you might even be able to synchronize the camera when it hits the bottom and things like that from the sensors. So that would be really super cool. But yeah, I think just trying it on the desk. We've had it stop 1 or 2 times. But at least if you look at the metadata, you can tell it's overheating. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, if you take the internal battery out and just have an external battery, apparently that stops the overheating as well. So.
Without the door on it, yeah. But then of course, if you get a slosh of water in, it's totally dead once you've got it out of the housing. Or if the housing just floods slightly, that's it. It's gone.
I haven't told Nick this yet, but I've been trialling the 1 terabyte cards, and they go really well.
Nick, I think we're going to have to start talking to IAT again about data transfers.
Well, ironically, what was the most scary thing about this project? It must have taken about 8 months to get all that loaded up onto the network. By the time I'd got the extra 200 terabytes of storage and loaded up 50 megabytes a second to Kensington, basically you have to come back, you find all the spare computers sitting around the lab, and you start one drive on this one drive on that one, and just get going. But I think there are some options from Amazon. I looked into the cost though, and they're pretty expensive. Everybody says, oh, you should use Amazon Snowballs, and then it's like $4,000 for them just to upload it, and then it's $4,000 for the first month to store the data before it migrates to tape. And yeah, it was just like phenomenally expensive. So
Yeah, and then there's always the exit cost as well if you decide to no longer use that platform.
So I kind of think doing it the way we're doing it's a good start. 1 terabyte cards. That's okay because we're not in the field any longer than a week. So it doesn't matter what the size of the card is, it'll still be the same amount of data.
We'll see. Thanks everyone for listening. I think we're finished right on time, Brett.